You won't believe some of the amazing features in this model home right behind me. We're in one of Northeast Florida in Jacksonville's newest and hottest neighborhoods, checking out this floor plan and going over just why it is so popular with people as they move to and live here in Jacksonville, Florida. So without wasting any more time, let's get into that walkthrough right now. All right, so getting right on into this beautiful walkthrough. The first thing you're gonna notice with this floor plan is you do get a really nice front porch. You know, keep in mind, this is a model home, so there are gonna be some intricacies here that are gonna go away. You know, at some point, this will be a nice driveway going out to the street. But for now, they have kind of staged it and you added some additional tile here to give you more of a walkway area. But this front porch would always be here. And again, it gives you an ability to hang out outside on a nice, beautiful day like today and just enjoy the beautiful Florida weather. Then as we come in, we have a singular, oversized front door. That's an 8-foot, maybe 9-foot door. And I do like the glass with it. And then you'll see too, as we first come in, we have this beautiful, tall 20-foot ceiling that greets us, makes it feel very wide, very open, very grand. And I love the fact that the builder on this did the shiplap walls throughout. Because again, whenever you're looking at a model home, it's always gonna be a situation where the builder is gonna go all out. They're gonna show you everything they can do. So it's nice to see those things, especially if it's something that you would want yourself when you're building with a builder just like this. In addition to, they did do the really beautiful wood floors. It's a lighter wood, and it's something that we've really seen come back around the last year and a half or so, really probably 2 years. And it's just a beautiful look because it makes everything feel light and bright. And it's really why people love living here in Jacksonville and Northeast Florida. And again, if you have any questions about where we're at today as far as the specific neighborhood or who the builder is or what the price of this home starts at, we will discuss that later on in the video. But if you don't want to wait, call me, text me, email me. It's going to be on the screen. Happy to help answer any and all questions. Over here is going to be our walkway to our 2-car garage. Actually, I think it's a 3-car garage, but overall, your garage is right there. And then off of the walkway is our laundry room. So this laundry room, it's a very great size. What they did here, the builder did, is they did some additional cabinetry up top, as well as you have your washer dryer, and you do have your sink, which really finishes the look. Because some of the floor plans you're gonna see here in Northeast Florida aren't gonna give you the option for a sink. And even though that normally is an upgrade with the builder, it's one of those things that it's nice to see you can do it, and that the builder's floor plan allows for you to be able to do it. So I do love seeing that. Then it takes us to our, what could be like a mother-in-law part of the house. And it's gonna be our first bathroom and bedroom. So this bathroom right here, it's a very nice open size, especially again, if you are gonna use it for a mother-in-law or for an older family member, it really is nice to have that extra size there to be able to move around and whatnot. It does have a single vanity, and they continue the same countertops and cabinets as what we saw in the laundry room. And with it as well, we do have our beautiful walk-in shower with a tile that goes up to the ceiling. Now they went with a more clean, finished, subway tile look with it, with just the white subway tile. But because it goes up to the ceiling, and with these really tall ceilings, it really, makes it feel more grand. I just love the look of it. And again, the fact that you have that seamless glass does make a huge difference. Really just gives it a very clean, finished look. And with the step down, you don't have to worry about getting, wet per se on the floor here because of the fact that the water will be contained inside the shower. And then we have our bathroom or our bedroom here. So this bedroom is going to be, again, the first bedroom, and downstairs, first bedroom overall that we've gone through. This bedroom's a great size. We do have, plenty of space here. This is a queen size bed with 2 really good sized nightstands. So you could easily do a king size bed in here without having to even worry about swapping out nightstands. And there still is room for additional furniture pieces if desired. In addition, with all this, we also have our closet here. Now this closet right here, what I do love that they did here is they actually did the rolling doors or sliders. It's just a really beautiful, really clean look that you don't always see builders able to do or actually do. And it really does give it that high-end feel, which is what you'd expect for a neighborhood like this. And again, these are all solid wood doors, so just a really good look overall. As far as the size, it's a pretty standard size closet, but overall, it's just a really nice clean look with it, especially with that Craftsman finish with the trim package as well. So overall, just really great finishes as you'll notice throughout this floor plan. It's things that I do love the builder did with this. And so overall, it's something that I think, really stands out when you walk through it for the first time. So then as we move to the rest of the house, the first thing you're gonna see here is this beautiful dining room. Now this dining room is an 8-seater table here. Now this is more of a square size table, which we don't see too often, but it does go to show just how large of a space you have to work with for more of your formal dining room. But just hold on just a moment, because this is not the only dining room, or at least dining room set here in this floor plan. In addition, I absolutely love the beams that they put in this dining room. And with those beams, they actually continue that wood flooring, but they put it in the ceiling to make it more of like a recessed look with it, an accent, so to speak. And it really stands out because it ties in the flooring with the ceiling, just really ties everything together. So I love that look. Then we get this nice little walkway to our kitchen. And on the way, you're gonna see right here, we have a beautiful dry bar. Most likely the builder may have an option where you can do a wet bar here as well. So if you wanna know more about that, you just have to reach out to me. But what I love is you have all this additional cabinetry here. You have cabinetry down below as well. So just as far as space goes, you have tons of space to work with this layout as you go into your kitchen. They even have a wine chiller as well with it. And this quartz that they used, they actually continue on the back wall. It's a very dark quartz, which you don't normally see. But honestly, I love the look of it. Like, it does come off maybe a little more masculine with all these darker colors, but it's just such a clean look in my opinion. It then takes us to our kitchen, and right away you're gonna see they continue that same dark countertop with the quartz, but then they did a waterfall effect with it as well, which a waterfall effect just means that they continued that quartz material on the countertop. They continued on the sides of the island down to the floor. So if you ever wondered what does waterfall effect means, well, that's the waterfall effect with this kitchen island. But as you can see here, you get tons of cabinetry and tons of countertop space with this layout. One thing that I absolutely love is all these pullouts here. It's one of those things that you don't always get this many pullouts with a floor plan like this. And it just makes it a little bit easier to be able to store stuff. And the fact that it has all soft close too, you really can't beat that. Over here, we do have our microwave oven combo. Most likely there might even be an option where you could do a double oven here. You do have the space for it, and then you have to just relocate the microwave somewhere else here in the space. Then over here, we do have an additional coffee area. And with this coffee area, or storage area, it just gives you that much more storage ability for all of your food, for all of your miscellaneous items, right next to your pantry. So to have that pantry space plus this additional storage space, again, you couldn't ask for more. Back here is gonna be our 1-car garage. So just again, a continuation of space into the house. All right, so as we then continue through the rest of this kitchen, starting off, with the island, I have already mentioned the countertops, but another thing I love with it is they did a nice big singular sink here. And the reason I say that is because sometimes you see those double sinks, and sometimes people love those double sinks. Me personally, I'm more of a single sink kind of guy, especially when you give me this large, oversized metal sink here. And then on the other side of this, we have our gas stovetop. And this community is a gas community. We are in more St. Johns County right now for this video, for this neighborhood, and a lot of St. Johns County communities do have gas. So that's something that is very important to you. Reach out to me so I can go over which communities to focus on that only have gas or do have gas, and which ones only have electric, so where those may not be as much of a focus for you. In addition, we have the nice hood up top, and one thing that I love the builder did on this one is they did the pot filler with it. Now, pot fillers give you pretty much instant hot water right then and there, and the idea behind it is rather than filling up your pot with hot water in the sink and lugging it over, you have that ability just to bring the pot, put it down, fill it up right there, and then you're good to go. And again, too, with all this, we have some really beautiful cabinetry here, and they really did, add a lot of these darker looks with the countertops, with the darker wood cabinetry, and the darker wood material, not darker wood, but the darker metal material as well for all the handles as well for the kitchen. So just really good, really clean look across the board. And then we get to our second dining room, or dining room table, as I had already mentioned to you. Now this is a 6-seater table. I can tell you, you could easily do an 8-seater table here. I mean, you got plenty of space to work with. And this just highlights the fact that you have the ability with this floor plan to have more of a formal dining room, but still also have more of that semi-formal dining room as well, if that's something that you desire for you and your family. So if you're someone who likes to host large gatherings, the really cool part is you can have the kids table, you have the adults table, and you can still have more space as well, as this island is oversized and gives you the ability to, on a day-to-day basis, eat at the island as well. So just tons of spaces to be able to host and entertain with this specific floor plan. Then it brings us to our living room. Now the living room here, as you can see, it's a beautiful size. One thing I have not highlighted yet, but I'm gonna highlight it here, is we have these wood beams that go all the way across, all the way from the kitchen over to the living room. So they run from the front of the house to the back of the house. And it really does kind of break up that monotony of the ceiling being all the same, height. And it really does give you a bit of a transition there, which I think is a cool feature you don't always see with these layouts. The builder also did a really nice built-in, and they did the shiplap as well with the walls here, but this time they did it top to bottom rather than side to side. So just a different look across the board, but clean nevertheless. Overall, the living room is a very good size as well, as it does lead to our backyard, which we will get to shortly. And then before we check out the room that was right behind me, you're not gonna wanna miss that. I do wanna just highlight too, the stairway going upstairs, was really nicely done by continuing those wood treads up to the top. We do also have that open metal as well for the railing. So just a very clean look across the board. And then you may be asking, okay, well, when I have guests over, if they need to use the bathroom, where are they gonna go? Well, with this layout, we actually do get a really nice sized half bath right off of the main hallway when you come into the house. So that half bath, gives them that ability to be able to, have instant access if they need to, and they don't have to go using anyone's bathroom per se within the house. And then lastly, we do also have some amazing storage underneath the stairwell. This storage is going to go all the way back and underneath the stairs. So just really nice to have, because when you live in Jacksonville, when you live in Florida, in general, space can sometimes be something that people want more of, especially if you're coming from somewhere up north where you're used to having a basement. Because again, here in Jacksonville, we don't have basements. If we do, they're normally considered to be pools because the water level is so high here. So without having a basement, having additional storage like that is huge across the board. But now let's check out what is behind door number 1, so to speak. But we are now gonna check out the primary bedroom of this beautiful house. All right, let's now check out this primary bedroom. So right away, as you're gonna notice, this primary bedroom is expansive. I mean, this is a very large primary. I mean, again, for the place to be able to go at night, to get a break from life, to be able to relax, to be able to just decompress, you can't ask for a better space in a house than like what this has to offer. You get some amazing light coming in off the back, with the windows. But also what I do love too is the builder in this, they gave us a tray ceiling, which that tray ceiling really does, it adds a little extra height in here and makes it feel just that much more grand and that much larger compared to other parts of the house. In addition with the tray, we do have those wood beams, and just like with the living room, you also do in here have surround sound speakers. Now again, keep in mind some of the stuff that you're gonna see throughout this are upgrades that you can do with the builder. Some of them may not be things you'll wanna do with the builder, but when it comes to a layout standpoint, this is something that you can definitely get with this builder as a lot of times the standard. In addition, as you can see here, we have a king size bed, we have large nightstands, we have a little seating area here, we have a dresser there. Behind, we also have a seat back there. I mean, there's just tons of furniture pieces in this primary bedroom, and yet it still feels empty. You don't see that very often. So I love the fact that, this space shows you that, because it just highlights just really how large the space really is. And again, they continued that wood flooring throughout, so just a really nice finishing touch with this layout. Then we come into our primary ensuite, and this is truly an ensuite you don't want to miss. We do have our vanities on one side. Again, they continued that darker tile on the wall to kind of match the countertops in the kitchen. You have your nice, large, oversized soaker tub. The flooring in here is actually gonna be more of like a herringbone design with some subway tile, but it has almost like a quartz pattern to it. And then to finish it all off, we have this oversized understatement, shower. This shower here, it's really cool the fact that they did an accent wall with the tile here. So this accent wall is again that darker tile. We do have our subway tile on the sides that go up, and it all goes up to the ceiling. The darker tile on the floors. And then to finish it all off, they don't give you one rain head. They give you 2 rain heads with this shower, the way they designed it. So you have 4 separate heads in this shower with 2 of them being rain heads. You can't beat that. I mean, you just really can't. Now, again, a lot of those are upgrades, but it just goes to show you what you can do with this builder if you so desired. Then we come into our primary closet, and this closet, I mean, it is massive. And what I love the builder did here is the builder did do some custom cabinetry in here to show you what you can do with the space. It's not always something that you're gonna do with a builder, and a lot of times if you do, this is gonna be another upgrade. So again, if you wanna have a list of what was upgrades in this house and what was standards, reach out to me with a call, a text, and email so we can go over all of that. But again, this is just a beautiful space overall and gives you a lot to work with, just knowing that even with all this cabinetry in here, there is still so much empty space, so much room to be able to move around as well. So it just highlights really how big this bedroom is, this bathroom is, and this closet is. But we're not done yet. We still gotta go outside, but before we do that, let's go upstairs now to show you everything that is up there as well. All right, so now that we're upstairs, right away, as you can see up here, it still has a really nice open layout due to the fact that the second story is open to the first story. And up here is great for if you have young kids because they can kind of have their own space of the house. You have a nice little loft up here, which also has some power in the floor. Great thing to add while you're building, if I do say so myself. And again, as you can see here, they kind of continue the same theme as living room where they did the nice built-ins, and they even did a tile for the back wall to offset all the shiplap that we see as well coming up the stairs. So just really good across the board. And then it's gonna lead us to then our bedrooms. So starting off, we have our first bedroom over here. You will notice the ceiling height did come down some, and so the doorway also came down some. But this first bedroom, has more of a soccer theme. And this bedroom is a good size still. I mean, this is a full-size bed with some end tables, but you could easily do a queen. Interesting light fixture. Let me know in the comments what you think about light fixtures like this, or if you're more of a fan kind of guy or girl. And then we also have our first walk-in closet. Now, I'm not gonna highlight all of them, but what I will tell you is this bedroom and the other 2 bedrooms up here are all really well-sized walk-in closets. So with this floor plan that we're in today, which, just hold off a little bit longer, we're getting there on knowing where we're at and what the floor plan is. But with this floor plan, every bedroom gets its own walk-in closet, other than that first bedroom that we looked at. Then we have our Jack and Jill bathroom. Now with the Jack and Jill, we have our double vanity here. They continue the same kind of cabinets we saw downstairs, but they did go with a white countertop to offset it a little bit. And then on the other side, we have our shower tub combo, because again, you need to have at least 1 tub in a house, in my opinion. And again, the tile goes up to the ceiling and just a very clean look across the board. Then it brings us into our second bedroom. Now this bedroom is a little bit different laid out than the first one, but still really good size. And just like with the first one, you could easily do a queen size bed in here, no issues, just because you do have that much space. We do have our walk-in closet over there as well to finish off this look. In this case, they did give us that ceiling fan. Because again, when you're living in Florida, a lot of times ceiling fans are more important to people. Obviously, in a model, they're not always going to put ceiling fans everywhere because they want to show and highlight a lot of their different fixtures. But it is probably more on the side of people tend to do ceiling fans than fixtures in bedrooms. So again, loft right here, really good size. Then we get to our last bedroom as well, but next to it's going to be our bathroom, which is more for just it. So this bathroom, you have a single vanity, you have that shower tub combo as well. Again, love the tile going up to the ceiling, just gives it a nice finished look. And this layout would be great if you do have a multi-generational family where the bedroom downstairs might be for an older family member. Upstairs, maybe if you have like a teenage aged kid, this could be a great room for them to have their own bathroom as well. And if you have two younger kids, they can share that Jack and Jill as well. So it kind of gives you an ability, depending on what stage you're at in life, to really give everyone in the family their own space, so to speak. As far as for this bedroom, it might be slightly smaller than the first two that we were in up here, but you could still do a queen size bed if you wanted. This is a full size bed for reference, and you saw the end tables with it as well, and the dresser. So I mean, it may feel a little bit tighter, but it does have a lot of furniture in it as well. And that is an interesting light fixture right here. Again, love to know what you guys think about these light fixtures. Is it your thing, or do you prefer the ceiling fans? And then again, walk-in closet here as well to finish off that look. So again, every bedroom upstairs, like I told you, has a walk-in closet, so you can't beat that. And it has a very nice light feel up here as well with all these windows. So you do get a lot of good natural light in all the bedrooms and this loft area. And now, saving the best for last, the feature that I honestly love, but also am intrigued with, let's go downstairs and go outside and look at all of that as well. So this backyard is very interesting, very different than what we're used to seeing, and you'll see why. You may have already kind of noticed it, but you'll see why as we go through this. So right away, when you come out to your back porch, you get this oversized covered back porch. Now, it can be screened in if you want. The builders decide not to on this one to be able to open up to the rest of the backyard. But this is one of the bigger back porches you will find here in the area. And I love the fact that they really show you just what you can do with it. In addition, they do give us an outdoor bar, what could also be a kitchen area. If you wanted to have an outdoor kitchen, you definitely could here. In this case, they just gave us the sink. The countertops, interesting enough, are almost somewhat similar to what we saw inside the house. They even did the waterfall effect with it as well. But again, you get the wine chiller, you get the ice maker to also go with the storage as well with it. So just really nice across the board there. Even if you kept it the way it was like this, it still gives you some good countertop space to bring food out. If you want to be able to eat outside and have more of a buffet style for you and guests during maybe sports events or just other occasions. Out here then we get to this back pool kind of area. You'll notice we do have that outdoor kitchen setup out there as well, which we'll get to in a moment. But just really quickly, behind our primary bedroom, we do have this little sitting area. And a cool thing they did with this is they actually did turf for the whole backyard. So this turf definitely does give it a nice look and really makes it very low maintenance to where you don't have to worry about ever having to maintain it on a week-to-week basis, which if you are from here watching this video, or if you're not, but people who live in Florida, one thing that you'll know is that during the summertime, there's a lot of yard maintenance that goes on with owning a house down here. So overall, just something to think about across the board. Then as we come back here, again, as I mentioned, the builder did something different here where, again, this is designed to be more of a water feature. Could you, especially if you have young kids, could they go in here and use it as like a little bit of a pool or hot tub? Definitely could. But for the most part, it's more of like for ambiance. And that's why you also have this metal pergola kind of set up with it as well. And then it finishes it off with having this oversized outdoor kitchen. So again, you have the mini fridge for your wine chiller there. You have your other mini fridge out here for your beer, your other drinks. You have your gas grill. And then you even have over here additional area to, put some ice and put some drinks, let them get cold as well. So just tons of different options to be able to utilize this backyard. But overall, let me know in the comments on what you think about this back area. You know, is it something that you would use, or is it something that you would prefer that they, make more of a pool? You know, I do love to know your thoughts because it is a different feature that we don't see very often. Although now, as we continue moving forward, we do have out here, we have what is a outdoor entertaining area. So we have our gas fire pit here, along with our flat screen TV, which will most likely be replaced with a newer one once they eventually sell this model home. And then it takes us to our little putting green out here. You know, if you're not from the area, one thing I can tell you is golf is a big piece of our area out here. You know, we have dozens of golf courses, a lot of them public, a lot of them are also private. So if you're someone who wants to golf year round, this is an area that you can do that. And from where we're at right now here in this community, we are only about 10 to 15 minutes away from probably close to a dozen golf courses. And a lot of them are accessible to anyone and everyone, as long as you just go ahead and make a tee time. So again, if you are gonna golf, something like this, to have a little putting range is never a bad idea to work on your short game as well. So that kind of wraps up the walk through this amazing model home, this amazing floor plan. But now we're gonna dive into where we're at today, why this community is just so popular, because there's a lot of things to go over there. And also what you really wanna know, which is what does the price of this floor plan start at, and what incentives are the builder currently offering here in this neighborhood. So let's get into that right this second. All right, so that's gonna wrap up the walkthrough of this amazing floor plan. You know, one thing about this floor plan I do love, and things that really caught my eye, were this distinct kitchen that we're in right now, as well as that oversized primary and its ensuite, because it really makes it truly a place to be able to relax and have that privacy that you really would want on a day-to-day basis. As far as the backyard, like I mentioned before, I'd love to know your thoughts on it because I like aspects of it, but also some of the aspects are interesting to me, to say the least. That being said, I do like the fact that the builder on this floor plan, they took some risk with it, they changed it up, and that's something that is very much appreciated because sometimes when you're looking at homes, it's good to see everything that you could do with it, whether it's inside the house or outside the house, whether it's something you'd want to do yourself or maybe you don't want to do yourself. But that being said, where we're at today is we are actually at, we're in the Bartram Ranch community. This is a Toll Brothers built community, and it's a really cool community in the sense of, it's one of the few communities that we have here that give you 70-foot wide and 80-foot wide home sites. So you get, a lot of good separation from your neighbors compared to some of our other neighborhoods and communities here where you may be dealing with 40 and 50 and 60-foot wide home sites. And that also gives you that ability to really maximize the layout of these homes, as you saw today with this Mayport floor plan, because of the fact that you have a lot of room to work with, not just from front to back, but also side to side. So I do love seeing that as well. As far as this floor plan with this Mayport, this is actually a 3461 square foot floor plan, which in my opinion, you feel every square foot while you're walking through this house, which I do appreciate because sometimes homes can feel larger than they really are or smaller than they really are. But also this layout starts at 5 bedrooms, and that's what you saw here today, but it can go up to 6 bedrooms. And as far as the bathrooms, you can go anywhere from 4 to 5. In this case, on this one today, we had a 4.5 bath layout with it. In addition, as you saw, it's a 2-story layout with a 3-car garage as well. Now, before we get into the price and the incentives, which I know you want to hear, I know that's why you're still watching, what I will tell you as far as why this community is so popular is because of the fact that location-wise, you're in St. Johns County, which has some of the best, if not the best, public schools in the whole state of Florida. Not just Northeast Florida, but in the whole state. So that brings people here all the time because of just how amazing the school system is. But you're also not that far away from things either. So if you want to go to the St. John's Town Center, which is a very popular location here, you're only about 30 minutes or so away. If you want to go to the beach, which a lot of people do when they come to Florida, again, you're about 30, 45 minutes away as well. So you're not that far away from some of those major attractions that bring people to our area. Now let's say you want to travel. The beauty about living here in Jacksonville, Northeast Florida, is that you're only a couple hours away from Savannah, you're only a couple hours away from Orlando, about 4 hours away from Tampa, or 5 hours away from Miami, 6 from Atlanta. So that's the beauty, is for the price points that you can be in here, you are still able to go to some of these other major cities on a weekend basis or week-long basis, because they're only a short drive away. So I do love that aspect of it as well, and a lot of people do, including me. In addition, you're only about 30 minutes or so, 45 minutes or so away from St. Augustine, which is always a great day trip or weekend trip due to all the attraction down there as well, being the oldest city in the United States. So again, really cool aspects across the board there. But now getting down to the details, this floor plan starts around $800,000. So if you want to know exactly what this specific model runs with all the features it has, call me, text me, email me so we can go over all of that as well. And keep in mind too, that $800,000 price point, that is always subject to change, because depending on how the building's going on in the neighborhood, those prices could go up, could go down, but most likely they're gonna go up. And they actually just recently did. So that's why, again, if you wanna know what they are right this second, you gotta call me, text me, email me, or again, there'll be a link in the calendar, or link in the description where you can schedule time on my calendar. But overall, that's a big piece of it, is always knowing what you're starting off with, because you are gonna have lot premiums here, you're gonna have structural options to choose, and design center options that are going to increase that price as well. But don't worry, it's not all increases, because what is nice right now is Toll Brothers is offering some amazing incentives. So again, if you are looking to buy here with Toll Brothers, depending on what section of the community you're looking to buy in, as they are finishing up their last couple phases of phase 5 and phase 6, which are in a gated section of Bartram Ranch, there are some pretty good incentives. And those incentives, again, they can range anywhere from $50,000 at Design Center, all the way up to getting half off design, up to $150,000, half off your lot premium, and much more. So again, those are subject to change. So if you want to know what they are right this moment, you got to call me, text me, or email me so we can go over all that in more detail. And stay tuned, because we are going to be doing a lot more just like this. So again, you won't want to miss those either. So make sure you like this video and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss those in the future. All right, I'll see you guys again in our next one.